The rights to the Oxbow incident were originally purchased by Paramount producer Harold Hurley. And he wanted Mae West to play the saloon hostess originally, but when he left Paramount, he sold the rights to William Wellman, who cast Mary Beth Hughes in the part instead. It would have been interesting with Mae West, I'm sure. While Henry Fonda was working on this movie, he was struggling to come to grips with a moral dilemma really of his own. The picture was made back in 1943. That was, of course, during the time of World War II. And he knew that he really wouldn't be drafted because he had 3 dependents and he could claim an exemption. But he couldn't really live with the knowledge that he was safe at home while all these other men were off putting their lives on the line. So as soon as work on this movie was finished, he just picked up and he went down to the Navy recruiting office and he enlisted. He just walked in, nothing special because he was a star. He walked into the office like anybody else. He swore out the oath. He was given 24 hours to wrap up all his affairs, which he did. And then he reported to duty, and that was that. Now let's take a look at this.
Next on AMC, 2 struggling songwriters meet 2 singing sisters in the fun-filled musical Tin Pan Alley, starring Alice Faye, Betty Grable, Jack Oakey, and John Payne. Next on AMC.
AMC invites you to watch a home run classic. It's not just a baseball movie. It's one of the greatest human dramas ever told. This is the story of Lou Gehrig.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Gary Cooper, Teresa Wright, and Babe Ruth star in The Pride of the Yankees.
Tuesday on AMC. American Movie Classics presents the world premiere of an unforgettable journey, Homeward Bound. It's an amazing portrait of the American family, seen through the eyes of Hollywood, with special appearances by Ron Howard, Doris Day, and Ellen Burstyn. You won't want to miss this exclusive original production, Homeward Bound. Thursday on AMC.
Hollywood's greatest tuneful triumph, Springtime in the Rockies. Here is a gay, glamorous story set to music in America's most romantic playground, with the year's brightest array of stars. Beautiful Betty Grable, popular John Payne, dynamic Carmen Miranda, romantic Cesar Romero, mirthful Charlotte Greenwood, hilarious Edward Everett Horton, and the nation's top radio and recording orchestra, the popular Harry James and his music makers. All these and 6 great new song successes. Listen to some of them.
Run, little raindrop, run. Get along, little cloud, get along. I've got a date with a place in the sun, so run, little raindrop, run. I had the craziest dream last night. Yes, I did.
O tique-tique, tique-tac do meu coração marca o compasso de atroz viver. É o relógio de uma existência, pouco a pouco vai morrendo de tanto sofrer.
Now, if you'll relax and listen.
All right, I'll listen. But if you fail to convince me, will you promise to stop meddling in my life and leave here right away?
Okay, it's a bargain.
I warn you, Dan Christie, I'm as cold as those glaciers. Victor, don't be ridiculous.
Ridiculous? How can I be any more ridiculous than you've already made me, sticking that man behind the curtain and letting me make love to you?
Well, darling, I knew he was there all the time, but, well, I was trying to get rid of him.
Well, why didn't you let me in on it?
Springtime in the Rockies means time for furious fun, tantalizing tunes, and gorgeous girls. As a rollicking cast of film favorites reach a new high for laughter, melody, and romance. It's a sparkling story in a spectacular setting, filmed in glorious Technicolor.
Last year, AMC helped raise over $250,000 for film preservation, but much still needs to be accomplished. The valiant effort continues with AMC's 2nd annual Film Preservation Festival. For 3 days, AMC will present some of Hollywood's greatest movie treasures, all restored to their original splendor. Join Hollywood's stars and movie makers in the fight to save our film heritage. Don't miss AMC's second annual Film Preservation Festival, October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd.
The powerful and emotional influence of film.
What's it all about?
The creative vision of the world's greatest directors.
The film speaks very clearly and simply to what I consider the truth.
The visual spectacle of the Broadway stage. The impassioned improvisations of jazz.
Music is about beauty and love, man.
And the fluid grace of the performing arts. Available only on the channel committed to bringing you the finest collection of award-winning cinema, performing arts, and critics' favorite TV series. All without commercial interruption.
I know who killed Laura Palmer.
Don't miss another opportunity to view the work of today's most creative artists on cable television. Call your local cable company today and request Bravo, the creative force in television.
Okay, how's this? AMC, the place for uncut movies that'll fill you with glee.
Don't you think it ought to be something less corny? It really ought to be something less corny.
That's it. Hit it. Oh. On AMC, the place for uncut movies like they ought to be.
I like it.
Exclusive shows and specials. Hosts who know their stuff.
That's good.
Huh?
Now what do you rhyme with stuff?
Powder puff.
Ah, so there hide those lovely voices.
Hi,
Ray.
How'd the show go last night?
Great. Last night was tango night, and they couldn't dance enough.
Couldn't dance enough. That's it. Exclusive shows and specials. Hosts who know their stuff. It's classic entertainment you can never watch enough.
Okay, let's run down what we have so far, girls. Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4.
AMC, the place for uncut movies like they ought to be. Exclusive shows and specials.
And hosts who know their stuff. It's classic entertainment you can never watch enough. That's great.
This is Jazzbo, Al Collins. It's time to swing back with the Soundies on AMC. It's 1942. Premiering that year was Orchestra Wives, starring Glenn Miller and his orchestra, along with Olympic skater Sonia Henney. On the local Panorama, you could see this Soundie starring Connie Haynes. She's backed by the Spike Jones Band, singing and swinging a tune about that Midwestern state, Idaho.
Away beyond the hills in Idaho, way on in Canyon Creek the sun, as it smiles above the trees in Idaho, to say another night is done. Warm summer winds toss the waving grain, calling me back to my home again, to dream sweet memories of long ago, beyond the hills in Idaho. days of long ago, beyond the hills in Idaho. Idaho, oh, Idaho,
He was a Texas Ranger sent to Canada, determined to capture a killer before it was too late.
Kill them! Now!
Gary Cooper stars in the Western classic Northwest Mounted Police, premiering Friday, October 21st at 9:30 p.m. Eastern as part of AMC's Film Preservation Festival.
Hi, I'm Bob Dorian. Would you like to see your favorite movie stars back on the big screen? Well, here's some really exciting news. American Movie Classics and United Artists Theaters are teaming up to bring classic movies back to the big screen again. If you live in one of these 5 cities, you can be part of the Big Screen series brought to you exclusively by United Artists Theaters and American Movie Classics. Every Wednesday, all the way through the end of January, we'll be showing one of your favorite classic movies at selected United Artists Theaters. Great films, too, like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Sunset Boulevard, Breakfast at Tiffany's, and a lot more. It's the legendary superstars, Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart, Humphrey Bogart, Marilyn Monroe, all on the big screen the way we saw them the first time around. And I'll be there, too, sharing behind-the-scenes stories about the movies and the stars, just as I do every night right here on AMC. If you love classic movies, you will not want to miss the Big Screen series brought to you exclusively by United Artists Theaters and American Movie Classics. See you at the movies.
Returning from Yuma, Hollywood's Gretna Green. So, who are the newlyweds? Aha, there's Tony Martin, singer of the screen. And there's Alice Faye, beauty of filmland. They're the newlyweds. And that proves they're honeymooners. So now it's wedded bliss for these two 20th Century Fox stars. Theirs was a studio romance, and it's like a film love story come true. Yes, it's also done in real life.
Next on AMC, 2 struggling songwriters meet 2 singing sisters in the fun-filled musical Tin Pan Alley, starring Alice Faye, Betty Grable, Jack Oakey, and John Payne. Next on AMC.
There's a funny story about today's movie musical, Tin Pan Alley. It was the only time the studio put its 2 biggest musical stars, Betty Grable and Alice Faye, in the same picture. And to heighten interest in the movie, Darryl Zanuck tried to create a jealous rivalry between Betty and Alice, a sort of shootout at Tin Pan Alley. But Betty and Alice were just too sweet and too down to earth to pull it off. So instead of becoming arch rivals, they became fast friends. Betty Grable was one of my dearest friends. She used to catch my act here in Las Vegas, and I'd introduce her saying, "Stand up on the booth and show your legs. That's what they want to see." And did they ever? They used to say more GIs carried Betty's picture in their wallets than dollar bills. And long before thin was in, Betty Grable was round, the way God intended women to be. Terrific. Tin Pan Alley co-stars another old friend, Jack Oakey. We did a picture together called The Rat Race. He was one of the funniest men I ever worked with. A true comic and a great physical actor. Look at today's film, or any film that Jack Oakey ever worked in. He never makes an exit. He always finds a way to walk into a door or trip over his feet and leave him laughing. And that's what Tin Pan